strange thing hit cinemas. Nope, not that thing. This thing, the Swamp Thing. Science turned him into a monster, and now he's back to wreak revenge. Swamp Thing tells the story of Dr. Alec Holland, who is about to make a scientific breakthrough in bioengineering, whose lab gets sabotaged by the evil mad scientist Dr. Arcane and his thugs, in which a laboratory accident transforms Holland into a vegetable beast monster known as Swamp Thing, a hideous green beast with super strength who can heal people and regenerate his own limbs, who lurks in the Louisiana bayous to take down those who transformed his life, before the evil Arcane can figure out his scientific formula for his own evil purposes. In this fun, cheesy monster movie, which took one of DC Comics' most obscure characters and gave him his own obscure movie. I've always considered the Swamp Thing to be a cross between the Incredible Hulk and the creature from the Black Lagoon. So today we are going to look into 10 amazing facts about the Swamp Thing. Drop-Dead Fred tells the story of Elizabeth, played by Phoebe Cates, a young woman down on her luck after she loses her job and her husband and is forced to go back and live with her overly controlling mother, whose life is about to get a whole lot more crazier and out of control when her childhood imaginary friend called Drop-Dead Fred returns to her life to run havoc and to help her try to regain control of her life by turning it completely upside down with all manner of wacky comedic shenanigans. Played by British comedy legend Rik Mayall and released in 1991, Drop-Dead Fred utilises the fast-paced, energetic, manic style of humour that Rik Mayall is most well known for, and tries to reach this style of comedy to an international audience, which, although it didn't work at the time, the movie's increasing cult following has seen many fans who love and adore this wacky oddball supernatural comedy, which also stars Carrie Fisher as Elizabeth's best friend Janie and Tim Matheson as her slimeball husband Charles. The question is, can Fred help Elizabeth get control of her life, or will his out-of-control antics completely destroy her sanity? There is only one thing that can save this young lady from the hardships of her life. British comedy! Yeah, bring in Rik Mayall from the young ones. So today we are going to look into 10 things that you may not know about Drop-Dead Fred. The only movie in which you never would have seen a man more happier to have dog poo on the heel of his shoes. So, let's celebrate the talents of Rik Mayall and Phoebe Cates and check it out.
This would be good for the wine gala.
Yeah, looks like a big bruise.
Number 10. Rik Mayall Transatlantic. Drop-Dead Fred was not only Rik Mayall's first attempt to break into Hollywood, but it was his first major theatrical film role, with him starring in the lead. Although he had already had minor roles in movies such as An American Werewolf in London and Shock Treatment, Mayall was most well known for starring on the small screen on British TVs, what with hits like The Young Ones and The New Statesman, along with The Comic Strip Presents. Although Drop Dead Fred has a fan base of lovers of the movie who just can't get enough of it, or Rick Mayall's off-the-wall manic performance, back when it came out in 1991, the movie got destroyed by critics who just didn't quite know what to make of Rick Mayall, so thus they didn't like him. Although the young ones did have a fan base in the States before Drop Dead Fred went into production, I think the wide public in general weren't ready for Rick Mayall's mania.
The Megabeat squashed my head! The bitch! He squashed my head! The evil one reigns supreme!
I always feel like in Drop Dead Fred, even though he's an imaginary friend, he's basically a watered-down PG version of Rick from the Young Ones, where he delivers his fast-paced comedy style, and surprisingly even has warmth to his character when need be. Although Mayall's Hollywood career didn't take off, he returned to British TV, where I think his talents really shined, where he would go on to make Bottom, which many fans believe is one of his greatest, if not his greatest accomplishment. Number 9, the best director for the job turned it down. For all intents and purposes, Drop Dead Fred is a capitalization on not only the talents of Rick Mayall, but also the oddball supernatural comedy genre that had seemed to have started with Beetlejuice and continued with the likes of Little Monsters, where we would see a pesky supernatural guy who was full of all kinds of comedic wackiness, a trend that would go on throughout the 90s. Well, seeing how it was a trend made popular by Hollywood's Prince of Darkness himself, it would have only seemed natural to ask him to direct, as Tim Burton was offered the position of director for Drop Dead Fred but turned it down. I guess you can't blame him. After all, he had Batman Returns to make. It's almost a travesty, as I think Tim Burton would have brought out the best of the movie and made it the best that it possibly could have been. After all, the movie does have that sort of Beetlejuice and Edward Scissorhands vibe about it. I guess you could almost say that Drop Dead Fred is the greatest Tim Burton movie that Tim Burton never directed. I'm not saying that Drop Dead Fred's director At Dijon did a bad job, because he doesn't. It's just the movie would have been right up Burton's alley. However, Drop Dead Fred may not have gotten the vision of Tim Burton. It did, however, get the sound of Ghostbusters.
Wow. Cobwebs.
Number 8. The composer of Ghostbusters 2 provides the score. So as mentioned, Drop Dead Fred was a supernatural comedy product of its time, and who else better than to get the composer of Ghostbusters 2 on board to provide the music for the movie. The score was composed by Randy Edelman, who just 2 years prior provided the score for Ghostbusters 2. Edelman's score provides plenty of heart and soul, along with comedic mania to keep up with Rick Mayall's energy. In fact, some of the musical cues that are heard when something oddball or magical happens sounds very similar to cues that were used for Ghostbusters 2, and ones that he would then go on to subsequently use for The Mask. Edelman is a professional of his trade, providing musical themes for many other movies such as Twins, Kindergarten Cop, The Last of the Mohicans, Billy Madison, and Triple X, to name but a few. Number 7. Drop Dead Fred could have been a Disney movie. Even though Drop Dead Fred has its kind and warm moments, particularly when Fred isn't rubbing dog poo on the carpet or sinking Carrie Fisher's houseboat, the movie might have been just that bit extra warm and gooey and family-orientated with a lot less swearing and rude jokes, as at one stage Disney picked up the script for Drop Dead Fred and were happy to go ahead and make the movie. They did have 2 requests though. A, the movie was to star Goldie Hawn, and B, they didn't want Rick Mayall in the movie. So Disney's offer was rejected in favour for keeping Mayall in the lead role. Even though Disney makes some pretty badass movies nowadays, I can't help but feel like had back in 1991 they got their hands on Drop Dead Fred, then the movie would have been somewhat muted and played out as a much more safe and family-friendly movie, but who knows? Yeah, the movie's title may have been changed to Fred, the Magical Imaginary Friend or something like that. Number 6. New Line Cinema saw Drop Dead Fred as a comical version of Freddy Krueger. Even though Drop Dead Fred was filmed in America, mainly in Minnesota, the movie was actually a British production, made by Polygram Entertainment and Working Title Films. However, the movie's production had a tough time finding a distribution company to release the movie internationally. Drop Dead Fred was taken to Miramax, Orion Pictures, MGM, and 20th Century Fox, among many others, all of whom turned the movie down as they either didn't like it or didn't understand it. Drop Dead Fred was even taken to Geffen, whom had previously distributed Beetlejuice, but they didn't want a bar of Drop Dead Fred as they found it too similar to Beetlejuice. So the movie was then taken to the home of Freddy Krueger, New Line Cinema, where it was shown to founder and producer of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, Robert Shaye, who sadly also hated the movie. However, fellow New Line Cinema executive Sarah Reicher loved the movie and saw the Drop Dead Fred character as being a comical reverse of Freddy Krueger and convinced Shaye to distribute the movie. As it just so happens, that very year, New Line Cinema was releasing what was intended to be the last Nightmare on Elm Street movie with Freddy's Dead. So the company was looking for a new character to take on the mantle of a wise-talking supernatural being. So Drop Dead Fred was picked up by New Line Cinema for that very reason. So, there you have it, guys. If it wasn't for Freddy Krueger, then Drop Dead Fred may not have been released. It seems kind of insane that Drop Dead Fred was even considered to be Freddy Krueger's replacement. Does that mean had the movie been a success, then there would have been Drop Dead Fred sequels? Number 5. Method to the Madness. Many people have noticed over the years that there actually is somewhat psychological logic to the madness